The Leprechaun. These tiny bearded men in green coats are Ireland's most famous fairy folk. According to Irish folklore, leprechauns are solitary creatures who spend their time making shoes and hiding pots of gold at the end of rainbows. They're cobblers by trade. You can hear them working before you see them. Standing only 2 to 3 feet tall, leprechauns aren't physically dangerous, but they are master tricksters. If you catch one, legend says they must grant you 3 wishes or reveal where their gold is hidden. Here's the catch, you can't take your eyes off them for even a second. The moment you look away, poof, they vanish into thin air, taking their gold with them. In old Irish tales, leprechauns could be mischievous but rarely evil. They'd lead travelers astray, steal small items, or play pranks. The worst they'd do, maybe give you a good scare or trick you out of their gold. Modern pop culture turned them into mascots and serial characters. But in original Irish folklore, they were respected and feared members of the fairy world. Leprechauns are the entry level of mythical creatures. Small, tricky, but mostly harmless. Now let's meet something with sharper teeth. The Kitsune, Japan's legendary fox spirits that grow more powerful with age. Kitsune are shapeshifters, most commonly appearing as beautiful women. But their true form is a fox, and the number of tails tells you how old and powerful they are. A young kitsune has 1 tail. Every 100 years, they grow another. By the time a kitsune has 9 tails, the maximum, they have lived for at least 1,000 years. Their abilities include shapeshifting into humans, other animals, or even objects. They can create illusions, entire fake landscapes to confuse victims. They can summon ghostly blue flames called foxfire. They can possess human bodies and take control. And they possess ancient knowledge and intelligence. Kitsune can be good or evil. Some serve as the messengers and protectors of Shinto shrines. They are called Zenko, good foxes. But others are Yako, wild foxes, who delight in tricking humans, possessing people, or even driving them insane. They are particularly known for seducing men, draining their life energy over years. How do you identify a kitsune in human form? They can't hide their shadows. It always shows fox ears and a tail, and they hate dogs who can sense their true nature. Kitsune are tricksters like leprechauns, but far more dangerous. They can ruin your life if they choose. Let's move to something that will just eat you. El Chupacabra, the goat sucker. Unlike our previous creatures from ancient folklore, this one is shockingly modern. First reported in Puerto Rico in 1995, farmers started finding their livestock dead. Goats, chicken, sheep, completely drained of blood with strange puncture wounds on their necks. No predator kills like this. Descriptions vary wildly. Some say it's a reptilian creature with spikes down its back, grey skin, and large alien-like eyes. Others describe it as a hairless dog-like beast with a pronounced spine ridge and a powerful hind legs for jumping. Physical descriptions include 3 to 4 feet tall when standing upright, grey or greenish scaly skin, large red or black eyes, sharp fangs or hollow tube-like teeth, moves on all fours but can stand on hind legs, and a sulphurous smell has been reported. The Chupacabra supposedly drains all the blood from its victims through small, precise puncture wounds, usually 2 or 3 marks on the neck or chest. Bodies are found completely exsanguinated but with no blood on the ground. How? Nobody knows. Sightings spread from Puerto Rico to Mexico, Texas, Chile, Brazil, anywhere Spanish is spoken. Thousands of livestock deaths have been attributed to it. Skeptics say it's just mangy coyotes or wild dog with mangy. Believers say the evidence doesn't match. Blood drainage is too complete, too surgical. Whether real or mass hysteria, the Chupacabra has terrified farmers for nearly 30 years, and unlike leprechauns or kitsune, people are still reporting sightings today. But a blood-draining predator is nothing compared to what's next. The Wendigo, one of the most terrifying creatures in Native American folklore and a warning against humanity's darkest impulse. The Wendigo comes from Algonquin tribes of northern forest, the Ojibwe, Cree, and others, and it represents something worse than a monster. It represents what human becomes when they cross the ultimate taboo, cannibalism. According to legend, If you're starving in the frozen wilderness and you eat human flesh to survive, even once, you become cursed. You transform into a Wendigo. The transformation happens in stages. First, you eat human flesh out of desperation. Then, an insatiable hunger consumes you. No amount of food satisfies. Your body begins to change, growing taller, thinner, skeletal. You transform completely into a gaunt, monstrous creature. Finally, you hunt and eat humans eternally, never satisfied. The Wendigo is described as impossibly tall, 10 to 15 feet, with ash-gray skin stretched tight over bones. It has a deer skull for a head with massive antlers. Its eyes glow in the dark. Its breath is a death rattle mixed with the sound of cracking ice. But here's what makes it truly horrifying. The more it eats, the hungrier it gets. Its stomach is never full. It grows larger with every victim, but it also becomes more emaciated, more desperate, more violent. Its abilities include superhuman strength and speed, the ability to possess humans and drive them to cannibalism, immunity to cold and starvation, being nearly impossible to kill, only fireworks, and the ability to mimic human voices to lure victims. Some tribes believed the Wendigo wasn't just a creature, it was a spirit of winter itself, a force of starvation and greed-made flesh. There are documented cases of Wendigo psychosis, a real psychological condition where people became convinced they were transforming and had to be restrained from harming others. The Wendigo is more than a monster. It's a cultural warning. In times of extreme hardship, maintain your humanity or lose it forever. Now let's leave the frozen forests for ancient Greece. The Hydra, the multi-headed serpent that becomes more dangerous the more you fight it. The Lernaean Hydra was a massive water serpent that lived in the swamps near the ancient city of Lerna in Greece. It had multiple heads. Sources vary from 5 to 9, some say even 100, and it terrorized the region for years. Here's what made the Hydra nearly impossible to kill. Every time you cut off one of its heads, 2 more grew back in its place. Fight it and you only make it stronger. The Hydra's abilities included regeneration. 2 heads grow for everyone severed. Venomous breath so toxic it could kill from a distance. 1 immortal head that couldn't be destroyed by normal means. Acidic blood that burned through armor and weapons. And multiple heads that could attack from all directions simultaneously. The creature was one of the 12 labors of Heracles. He was sent to kill it as his second task. When he arrived and started cutting off heads, he quickly realized the problem. The monster was multiplying. Heracles solved it with help from his nephew Iolaus. As Heracles cut off each head, Iolaus immediately cauterized the next stump with a burning torch, preventing regeneration. One by one, they destroyed the heads. But there was 1 immortal head that couldn't be killed. Heracles cut it off and buried it under a massive boulder, trapping it forever. After the battle, Heracles dipped his arrows in Hydra's poisonous blood, making them instantly lethal. These arrows would later kill several other legendary creatures and heroes. The Hydra represents an escalating problem. The harder you fight it directly, the worse it gets. Sometimes brute force isn't the answer. Sometimes you need strategy. But strategy won't help you with our next creature, the Manananggal. The Philippines' most horrifying vampire creature and one of the weirdest in all of mythology. By day, the Manananggal appears as a beautiful woman living normally in a village. But at night, her upper body separates from her lower body at the waist. Massive bat-like wings sprout from her shoulders and she flies through the night hunting for victims. Her physical trait includes an upper body that grows wings and can fly, a lower body that remains hidden standing still, a tongue that extends into a long hollow proboscis like a mosquito, eyes that glow red in darkness, and she leaves a trail of vinegar scent. Her preferred victims? Pregnant women and their unborn babies. The Manananggal lands on the roof of a house where a pregnant woman sleeps. She extends her incredibly long, hollow tongue through the thatched roof or between the wooden slats, pierces the woman's belly, and feeds on the fetus. Survivors wake up with mysterious wounds and their pregnancy is gone. Here's her fatal weakness. She must reunite with her lower body before sunrise. If she can't reattach, she dies. In Filipino folklore, if you find her lower body hidden somewhere, you sprinkle it with salt, garlic, or ash. When she returns and tries to reattach, the connection fails. The sun rises, she burns to death or crumbles to dust. The word Manananggal comes from tangal, meaning to remove or to separate. She literally removes herself. Modern Filipinos still tell stories of hearing the tick-tick sound of her wings at night. The closer she gets, the softer the sound becomes. If you hear silence, she's directly above you.